Hi, thanks for joining us today for this presentation about our hosted PBX platform. I understand that we have all three types of users that we typically do in the room. We have our customer administrators, typically the person who managed the previous phone system or deals with the PBX vendor. Maybe the person that's also responsible for doing password resets and making some typical phone settings. In addition, we have some just typical standard office employees that we call, where you're making and receiving phones for the most part, does not really do any travel or use many advanced features. And I believe we also have what we call our premium power users in the room. And I think those of you can relate. Your mobile, travel, and maybe have more than one office or more than one device. You're very much used to the smartphones that are out on the market, and you use a ton of applications to keep you connected. And we're going to show you today how this new hosted PBX phone system can really start to mirror the experience that you get on your phone. So we're going to talk a little bit about the platform that you have, and then we're going to go in and show you some of the applications for each type of user. So what is hosted PBX, and how is it different from the phone system you have today? Those are questions we get asked all the time, so I'm just going to take a couple minutes to explain what some of those differences are. In most company environments and small office environments, typically there's going to be a PBX that's physically at the customer location. And so it's not anywhere outside. All of the features and the technology are in that piece of physical hardware that reside at your location. And then you have your good old copper lines that go to your desk and provide you the phone service. While there's a lot of features that the PBX can provide, there is some limitations. Obviously, from a location-to-location standpoint, you may have different phone systems, different PBXs, different models, and different capabilities. So especially if it's an office environment where you have more than one location, having traditional PBX phone systems can be a little bit cumbersome and also can limit a lot of your features and capabilities. So what is this hosted PBX? Well, everybody talks about the cloud today. We're storing our data in the cloud. We're actually using virtual computers that are in the cloud today. So this phone system is very much that way. So instead of having the entire phone system at your location, that phone system is hosted in a secure, redundant, carrier-class data center, and all that's at your location now is a device to connect to that and your HD voice IP handsets. So one of the biggest advantages is obviously it's less for you to worry about and less for you to manage. It's the phone company that takes care of all of the upgrades and the maintenance. It also has a very robust feature set. And most importantly, if you do have a office environment with more than one location, even if they're 10 miles apart or 2,000 miles apart, you can all extension dial each other and have all of the same services across the board. So those are just a few of some of the advantages and the differences between a traditional premise-based PBX and our hosted PBX system that we're going to demonstrate to you now. So in the beginning of this presentation, we talked about three different types of users and what some of those advantages are and different applications that you would use. So the first type of user that we're going to talk about, and what I'm going to show you what hosted PBX brings to the table, is for your office administrator or person that would typically deal with the PBX vendor. So first and foremost, unlike most premise-based PBXs, I can access all of my phone system settings, all of the users, and all of the features from just about any internet-connected device in the world. And the biggest reason for that is the customer administration portal. It uses the same technology that your banking institutions do, so it's very secure and very safe. It uses SSL 128-bit encryption to keep all of your data secure and your username and password secure. So whether I'm on a smartphone, in a taxi cab, on my iPad at home, or traveling in a hotel halfway around the world, I can use any internet-connected device to point to this web browser and log in. Once I'm logged in, I can see all the features and services for our company. One of the most common things that happens to users in an office environment is maybe they forget their password to their voicemail or forget the password to log into their end user portal. So as an administrator, it's very easy for me. I just click on the users, I can search for a particular user or I can see them all, and I can come right down to that user, I can go to the password section, and I can reset their voicemail or their web portal password. Being able to see and manage all of my users also helps me to identify any potential problems. And what do I mean by that? Maybe a user is complaining that all of their inbound calls are going straight to voicemail. So having access to all the users allows me to just click on that user, look at maybe what their incoming call settings are, and see that maybe they forgot to turn off Do Not Disturb. So I can actually go to that setting for that user and turn that feature off for them. So again, from any internet connected device, I can log into this portal and make those types of changes to users. Where the real power of the portal comes in though, as a customer admin, is really when I need to make some changes to some of my existing services. And one of the most common services that customers like to modify on their own is automated attendance, or IVR trees. With a traditional premise-based phone system, typically you have to spend some time on the phone calling your vendor who manages that PBX, and sometimes you can get these issues resolved in a couple hours. Other times it may take days to make the changes. Now with this hosted PBX platform, I can log in from anywhere, click on my auto attendant, go into my business hours or after hours IVR tree, and modify them as I see fit. So for example, if I added a new hunt group now for customer service and I want to add that to my IVR tree, I just type in customer service for key press 5. I can decide if I want to transfer this to an operator or to an extension or even a number outside of the company, and then I just add in that extension. Once I do that, I just re-record my greeting, which I can do from any phone in the world, or I can actually record it on my computer and upload that. All I do then is click OK, and I'm done. No more waiting, and I can manage my phone system when I want and how I want. Another feature that's very easy for me to manage now are hunt groups. So we mentioned previously about creating a new hunt group that we added to the IVR. Well, changing anybody that's in a hunt group, adding, removing users, or changing the action of the hunt group is very easy to do. I just click on the hunt group I want to modify, go to the profile section, and now if I want to change the policy of how that hunt group works, whether it all rings everybody's phones at the same time that are in the hunt group, whether it starts at the top every time, I simply go and click what that policy is. I can also change my no answer settings, and more importantly, all of our group features and services like automated attendance and hunt groups and even users have built-in automated disaster recovery for inbound calls. So the hunt group not reachable setting is really great for me to be able to automatically forward calls if the phone system or the location is not available. Our platform is smart enough to know that if a phone is up or not, or if there are agents available. So the way we look at it is you'll never miss an inbound call again. All you do is make these changes and you set it and forget it. Adding or removing users to the hunt group is just as easy. Just click the user and hit remove. There's even ways for you to map some of the feature access codes that you used on your existing PBX to your new phone system. So a lot of people may choose to not use the web portal to make changes, and that's okay. because the hosted PBX platform still supports all the typical feature access codes like *72 to call forward always on your phone and others. What our platform lets you do is customize the feature access codes to ones that maybe your phone system used. So if our feature access codes are a little bit different than what you had, it's very easy to go in and add an alternate feature access code. Again, as a group administrator, this is something that would have taken a very long time to accomplish with a traditional phone system, if at all. I think that you're starting to see some of the real benefits of a hosted PBX platform, especially if you are that person that's responsible for either managing the office or had traditionally dealt with the phone system. I just have a few more things to show you on this particular topic, and a lot of the things that people like is you have an automatically updated, hosted, cloud-based contact directory. So anytime that a user's numbers change or if a new person comes to the company, you automatically have a built-in phone list, and you have the capability of printing out a customized phone list that you can print and distribute or access via the portal. Finally, if you do get that new employee, or if someone's phone number or extension changes, there's no longer a need to call to have that done. You can simply click on the user, go to the address field, and modify the extension or assign a new phone number. It's really that easy. Okay, so now we're going to move on to your typical standard user. And what we mean by that is someone that typically does not do any traveling, maybe does not have more than one device, and really just uses the phone service to make and receive phone calls. They might do the occasional call forward always, but for the most part, they're in the same location every day, and they just make and receive calls. Before we actually get into the portal, there is still a lot of advantages in a hosted PBX environment, even for the standard user. And most of that revolves around your new IP handset or your IP phone. These phones are essentially mini computers. So most of them will have touchscreen displays, some have color displays, but one of the best things that you're going to notice with this new phone system is something that we call high definition audio, or HD voice. That's something that everybody is going to really appreciate and be able to take advantage of. It's like sending your voice through a digital processor and everything is crystal clear. Gone are the days of the static or crosstalk that can be present with traditional phone systems. Even having some, the copper lines that run through your office, if they get damaged or they're old, it causes some crackling on the phone. No more. So these phones are really high tech, they're super easy to use, and they really do provide some excellent HD voice capability. Whether you're a customer admin or an end user, you go to the same portal address to access your individual portal. You just log in with a different username and password. So let's talk about a few of the advantages of what a typical standard end user would be able to take advantage of using their personal web portal. As you can see, the portal looks very similar to the customer admin portal. The biggest difference is it's just for this user's particular settings. So from the main screen, I can access my profile, where I can update my email address, mobile phone to be put in the cloud-based directory, and I can also change my password if I so choose. One of the other things that I can do, if I want to use any time of day based routing features, is all the users have the capability of adding their own business hours and holiday time schedules. So this comes in to play even if you do stay in the same location every day. You may want to have your calls routed differently based on time of day. So one of the nicest things is I have this easy web portal that I can go in and I can modify time schedules that I use on an individual basis. Another great advantage of the hosted PBX system is our unified messaging. which lets me basically have all my voicemails go to my phone, but I can also send them to my email address as a WAV file. So as an end user, it's very easy for me to just click on my messaging link, and from here I can manage my greetings, and I can also go to my voice management section, and I can add an email address where I want my voicemails to be sent to, in addition to being able to retrieve them on the phone. The greetings link lets me have multiple alternate greetings that I can store on my computer and upload at any time, as well as manage them through the voice portal. It also lets me set my number of rings. So again, very easy to manage, and I can do this from any internet connected device. And of course, the portal lets me manage all of my settings for incoming calls, outgoing calls, and other applications that are assigned to me. So we can always use the star codes as we talked about earlier, for example, to turn call forward always on, or we can actually come to the portal and turn that feature on. One of the things that we automatically do whenever a customer signs up for hosted PBX is turn a feature on called call forwarding not reachable. And as we talked about in the customer admin section of this presentation, this is also used for automated attendance and hunt groups and other services. It's also used for every individual's phone. This is one of the best forms of automated disaster recovery on the market. So basically what we do when we provision new users is we automatically add their mobile device to the call forwarding not reachable feature. And what this does is it's on all the time. You do it one time, you set it and forget it. And any time that that user's phone maybe had a power outage, or if the data connection was dropped, or even if an entire location was inaccessible, all of your inbound calls are automatically routed to that call forward not reachable destination. So when we say that you'll never miss another inbound call again, we really mean that. It works great, and it's a great disaster recovery feature. In addition to the call forward not reachable features that does provide automated disaster recovery for inbound calls, there's also several other features that can be used in disaster recovery, but also for Find Me, Follow Me. And one of the best features that we use for Find Me, Follow Me and also disaster recovery is something called Anywhere. What Anywhere lets you do is basically add any device to your profile so that it acts like an extension of your office phone number. So for example, if I want to add my mobile device as an Anywhere device, I just type in the phone number, turn the device on, and I can give it a description, and click on OK. What Anywhere does automatically is, now anybody that calls my office number, my Anywhere devices will also ring for inbound calls. It's very similar to simultaneous ring. But really where the power comes into play, in not only a Find Me, Follow Me capability, but also for disaster recovery, is the Anywhere feature also lets me make outbound calls from my Anywhere device and appear like I'm in the office. So it uses my office outbound calling line ID and also bills my office account for any long distance charges. With Anywhere, you can add up to 10 devices to your account that can all act with the same phone number for both inbound and outbound calls. Another great feature that people love is a feature that we call Call Pull. And what that lets you do is basically pull calls from any of your Anywhere devices. So for example, if I get a call when I'm out for lunch to my office phone number and I answer it on my Anywhere device, once I'm back to the office, all I have to do is hit the Call Pull button on my phone, and it seamlessly transfers that call instantaneously to my desk phone. And I can do the same if I was on my office number and needed to leave. I can use the Call Pull on my Anywhere device or my mobile phone, and it'll take that call from my office to my mobile, and the person I'm talking to never knows the difference. So no more hanging up, hey, I'll call you back, or give me a second. It's very instantaneous, and that's the Call Pull feature of Anywhere. Anywhere is typically used as an always-on service. It's typically not something that you would turn on or turn off. You just leave it on unless you want to add or remove an Anywhere device. But what about something that's more on demand that can also be used in a disaster recovery scenario, or if you're somewhere that you don't have your laptop or desktop? Well, that's where Remote Office comes in. If I just click on the Remote Office link, the only thing to configure in Remote Office is to turn it on and add in a Remote Office number. Well, what is a Remote Office number? It can be any phone that has a direct inward dial number. So any landline, any mobile device, any device that I can have access to for inbound calls, I can use Remote Office for. So for example, if I was at a friend's house and had a work emergency that I needed to handle to make outbound calls and receive calls, all I would do is enter in that person's phone number, the 10-digit number, and click OK. So now any incoming calls to my office number will automatically go to my Remote Office number. But what about making outbound calls? Well, again, this is one of the biggest advantages of the personal web portal, is that I can access this portal from anywhere and there's nothing to install. Built into the end user portal is an application called the Call Manager, and I can launch that from my personal portal. And once the application launches, this is what lets me control my Remote Office phone. So for example, if I needed to call the customer that had the emergency, but I want them to see my office phone number and I want my office account to be billed, all I would do is dial the number of the customer just as I would if I was in the office and click dial. Once I click dial, it will ring my Remote Office number, and as soon as I answer that, it makes the outbound call. Now I can use call control features within the Call Manager, such as placing the call on hold, and even transferring that person to another user within my company or outside to any PSTN phone number. And again, the person I'm calling sees my office number and not the Remote Office phone number. Again, the great thing about the Call Manager is there's no software to install, so even if I am at a different location, I don't have any of my computers, I can still do this and not have to install any software on that guest computer that I'm on. Another great feature of the Call Manager is being able to access my hosted cloud-based directories. So I can quickly access my company directory, and I can click on any number to call that particular person. I have access to a personal directory, and I can actually view my call history for all my missed, received, and dialed calls. In addition, I can access Outlook contacts directly from the Call Manager application. There's no synchronization and there's no importing. It automatically pulls contacts from the PST file that's on the computer that you're using the Call Manager on. So again, even if you're a standard user that just typically makes inbound and outbound calls, there's still a lot of advantages from a feature standpoint and especially from a disaster recovery standpoint, allowing you to work from anywhere using any type of device, even if it's a landline or mobile phone. So this last section of the presentation, we're going to focus on the mobile or power user and some of the applications that are available on the hosted PBX platform. So we showed you what the end user portal looks like, and we also showed you some of the features of what the Call Manager brings, which is the application that lets you control your desk phone or any device, whether you're using Anywhere or Remote Office. The first application that we're going to talk about combines the best of those two applications, the portal and the Call Manager, and puts it in an easy-to-use toolbar application that can be used in Outlook, Mozilla Firefox, or Internet Explorer. So this is called the Assistant Toolbar, and there's two different layers of the toolbar. The first layer really imitates and mimics what the web portal gives you. So for example, now if I want to change my voice messaging settings as to where my voicemails get emailed to, instead of having to log into the portal, click on messaging, click on voice management, and change those settings, now I simply click on the services button. Once I do that, a new window opens, and it contains the most commonly accessed features and services, one of those being voice messaging. So now I just go click on voice messaging, and I can go and edit the email address that my voicemails are sent to. It's that easy, and it works the same for anywhere. I can also use it for simultaneous ring and any of my call forwarding options. So that really does make changing your features and services that easy, never having to log into a portal, and the toolbar uses the same username and password that you do, so it's all synchronized with your web portal and the toolbar. There may be times when you need to access the full end user portal, and the toolbar makes it easy to do that as well. There is a auto login button for the portal, so once you click that, it'll automatically take you to your end user portal and log you in. In addition to the services button, there's also hot buttons that you'll see located at the top. If you hover over each one of these, it'll tell you what they do. So there's hot buttons for do not disturb, simultaneous ring, remote office, anywhere. So now if I want to turn on do not disturb, I can do it on my phone, or I can click the do not disturb button in the toolbar. You also have access to your cloud-based contact directories. So you can access speed dials, your call history, your personal directory, or the group directory. So clicking on any one of these will open up your directory right in the web browser and give you click-to-dial capability. And what click-to-dial refers to is, if I wanted to call Sheila Evans, all I would need to do is either click on the DID extension or mobile number, and it'll automatically take my desk phone off hook and make the outbound call. So you can use click-to-dial anywhere you see a hyperlink in any one of your directories, or even in web pages, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. In addition to your contact directories, you can also search your Outlook contacts without going to Outlook by using the search bar. For example, if I wanted to search one of the contacts from Outlook, I would just go into the search bar, type in the name, and click enter. The number comes up, and I can use click-to-dial right from my web browser using the toolbar. You can also add hot links, which are the same as bookmarks, that you can use, and you can put up to 10 of these in so that your customers have access to maybe your support site, training videos for the hosted PBX solution, or any other links that you want to put in. They work the same as a toolbar, so if you want to click on that and access it, just click on the link and it'll take you there. One of the exclusive and most popular features of the toolbar is the ability to use click-to-dial from any number contained in a web page. One of the reasons why this is so popular is because more and more companies today are using hosted or cloud-based contact management systems like Salesforce.com. But even in your daily job, anytime that you want to dial a number and it's on a web page, so I'm on US Airways for example, what the toolbar lets you do is any number that's on there, you can just highlight it, right-click it, and select dial. You'll see the call show up in your toolbar, and now you can use the toolbar to do call control just like you did in the call manager. So if I want to place the call on hold, I can do that, and I can also resume the call. I can also use it to make blind and consulted transfers, and also perform a three-way call by using the dial number box. Once I dial the second number, all I do is click on the conference button, and then you'll see the conference active show up in the call status box. If I want to drop either party, I just select the one I want to drop and click the end button with the red phone. So again, the toolbar application works in Outlook, Mozilla Firefox, and Internet Explorer, and really does combine the best of the web portal and the call manager into one application that's always on and always available. If you're running in a Microsoft Windows environment, the Assistant Toolbar is a great solution. One of the things that BroadSoft has developed in the last year is a suite of unified communications products called BroadTouch. And really what unified communications is this is where we start to get into offering a lot of the same services that you're used to on your mobile device, where you have applications and you can do instant messaging and presence. We actually are now bringing that to your desk phone. And that's what the BroadTouch suite of unified communications products do. Number one, they're not only for Windows environments. You can install these on a Mac operating system for a desktop or laptop environment. And there are also mobile clients that work on Android and iOS devices. So you can download these from the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store for Android. So now there is a true solution, cross-platform, to be able to do a lot of the same features that you did in the toolbar with added functionality of unified communications. So what does that mean in terms of unified communications, and what is the same as the toolbar and what is different? Well, first of all, you have your contacts that you can use to click to call, both audio and video, just like you did in the toolbar. You can also look at your communications history that you have for your missed received dialed calls, and also your chat history as well. You can also access any of your directories that you have saved, and it's very easy to go and add contacts to any of your unified communication BroadTouch clients. Another feature that's similar to the toolbar is the ability to access certain features and services directly from your unified communications BroadTouch client. So here you can access your BroadWorks Anywhere, Remote Office, call forwarding options, Do Not Disturb, and Simultaneous Ring. Another great feature is whether or not you want to have a instant messaging conversation, an audio, a video call, or a conference. Double-clicking on a contact will give you all the options in one concise window. So from the chat window, I can view all of my history of chat or phone calls. I can initiate a chat request, an audio call. I can actually call from a hardware-based phone if I so choose, or I can initiate a video call. The BroadTouch client also provides for desktop sharing in both directions. It even allows the person I'm sharing my desktop with to take remote control. BroadTouch also lets me choose from some standard presence information like available, away, busy, or offline, but since this is tied to my phone, there's automatic presence information that's displayed to all of my contacts. So if I'm already on the phone, or if I have Do Not Disturb, my presence information will be shown to those outside contacts. This really takes Busy Lampfield to the next level. Making a call to someone outside of my contacts is extremely easy. I can just use the dial number box, enter in the number, and hit the enter key on my keyboard. This will initiate a new window where again I can do an audio call, or I can change to video if the other person has a video enabled device as well. Finally, one of the best features of the BroadTouch Unified Communications client for the desktop is the My Room feature. So this is where I can add multiple contacts and have an audio conference. I can do desktop sharing for presentation, or we can actually have a video conference going at the same time, being able to see everybody that's in the room. So again, the BroadTouch desktop clients will work on any Mac or Windows computer, and the BroadTouch mobile clients will work on Android and iOS devices. The BroadSoft hosted PBX solution supports hardware-based attendant consoles for the receptionist, and also software applications that will take the place of the massive phone with all the sidecars on them. One of the best things about the receptionist application that you see here is that you can log into this and manage the receptionist phone and your main company number from anywhere. So you can use Anywhere feature or remote office and log into this from anywhere in the world and route your company's phone calls. The receptionist application is a web-based thin client. So again, there's nothing to install. You log in based on your username and password, and you can access this from any internet-connected device in the world. The first thing the receptionist console does is give you access to all of the contacts that you want to monitor. So it'll give you busy lamp field information, not only if someone's available or on the phone, but also if they would have Do Not Disturb turned on, or if they have call forwarding turned on. You can actually see where that number is forwarded to, and you can also take notes for each contact that you can store and save. So if you know that Sam's going to be out of the office, you can type in a note and put in that Sam is out till Friday. The receptionist console also lets you handle and route calls extremely easy by using the switchboard. So anytime a call comes in, you can double click the call. You can use a wired or wireless headset so you never have to touch your phone. So once a call comes in, if you need to transfer that call and you want to do a blind transfer, you can simply drag and drop that call to the user that you want to transfer the call to, or you can place the caller on hold and do a warm transfer to see if that person is available. There's also advanced features to the receptionist console like directed call pickup, call park, and barge in. So if you see a user that is busy and you hover over that particular user, then you will see buttons for barge in, and you can also transfer that caller directly to the person's voicemail. The receptionist can also view their call history by clicking on the call history button to view their missed, received, and dialed calls. In addition, even though this is a web-based thin client, users of the receptionist application can change the theme that they want to use, save their workspace, or load a workspace that they saved prior to that. By combining the receptionist application with a basic ACD or call center queue, a receptionist that handles large incoming call volumes can belong to the queue and queue the users so that they hear an entrance greeting, a comfort greeting, and not just hear ring back and get transferred to voicemail. And activating the night mode is very easy also by just clicking on services and then putting in the call forward number for the night destination, whether it be an auto attendant or a voicemail box. Joining parties together is extremely easy using the receptionist application as well. Just hover over the call, click the conference button, and the active conference will show in the conference window. From here, I can choose to end the entire conference, hold the conference, or leave the conference and leave the two parties connected.